open this up, and I want to ask Vimlendu Jha. Vimlendu Jha, look, we can protest, we can lament, the Chief Justice doesn't have to go out for a walk, etc., etc. First of all, what can the Chief Justice do? Can he be a little more assertive? Could he pass some strictures? Is he also sitting on his hands? And of course, where are we mucking up? Is this a problem that is unavoidable in developing economies, and you have to go through a certain period?
So Rahul, of course, it's not the Supreme Court's responsibility to govern our air. Governance is ideally not in the realm of the courts of our country. Unfortunately, we've got into the habit of depending on the Supreme Court, and rightly so, because that's the only thing that actually has been saving India's environment in last several decades. If you look at CNG revolution or many other moves with regard to air pollution or otherwise. Right now, when the Chief Justice, actually, what can they do? The fact that they don't even know what AQI means, the predecessor Chief Justice, the previous Chief Justice didn't even know what AQI meant or what GRAP meant in that sense. So there's very little expectation that I have sometimes of the judiciary. I have a lot of hope and expectation from our political class of different governments, irrespective of their political color or political party that they belong to. And by the way, it's not about ascertaining what the air quality is. As in, I was there this morning, those videos that I posted, I have the videos of the air quality monitors that has the time and the date stamp of the Delhi government, DPCC, CAQM's own monitors, and there was the evidence. Of course, it wasn't, it's for anyone to go and see that there's a smog tower just 20 meters from there. There's water sprinkling that is going on there next to the air quality monitors. The air quality monitors are actually kept under a tree. There are smog guns that you can actually see in the video that you're actually showing. So when you have that, and unfortunately, Rahul, one more thing that has happened, by the way, in the evening, CAQM is saying that Delhi's air has improved and therefore there's no restriction that is needed, and it has downgraded the restrictions. Anyway, I'm not a believer of restrictions because those are band-aid solutions. GRAP is not called governance. Just shutting down a city is not a permanent solution in that sense.
Yeah,
so
it's
very unfortunate, Rahul, that we actually have to really fudge data. The government has...
Okay, that's an allegation that you're making. That's an allegation that you're making. It might be subjective entirely. Well, it's an allegation, obviously. I mean, look, you've been there, you claiming certain things. That's okay. Right now, we have to, as I said very clearly, that one has to independently verify. I'm not against you. We all respect the fact that something needs to be done.
Are also showing 400, by the way.
Okay. So one second. I just want to say something which is important. What do we do from here? Who do we hold accountable? Because the government says, look, there is Parali being burnt around us and people have to sort of get to it. There are others who say that citizenry needs to be a little more also responsible. I mean, everyone has to come together clearly.
Absolutely, no doubt everyone has to come this thing, but we can't find private solution to public problems.
Okay.
This is not where you and I change our lifestyle. You and I can't buy a bus. You and I can't go and stop the Parali burning that is happening. You and I can't go and install smog towers every square kilometer of Delhi with 1,500 square kilometers.
Point taken.
You and I can't go and do cloud seeding. So therefore,
let me point you viewers to these visuals.
Is important.
Look at these visuals. This is of a young couple that have taken their child to a hospital for surgery because the pollution triggered health issues, Dr. Ranganathan. This is becoming a very, very, very critical situation for Delhiites. I mean, my eyes are burning.
Yeah. No, you're right, and my good friend Vimlendu is also right. But, just this morning at the airport, I was accosted by someone and rather brazenly he was talking about the pollution coming from Bangalore and, how wonderful Bangalore is right now and how terrible Delhi is. And he was quite brazen about it. He said, look, I'm an AAP and a Congress supporter. And for 10 years, it's been nearly the same. But I'm never going to blame Punjab for the Parali burning. I'm going to actually say that the pollution right now in Delhi is because of the transport. Maine kaha, how can you do that? Of course, there is some share of transport, but there is, of course, Parali burning happening in Punjab, which is basically going on for the last month and a half. Do you not blame the pollution for that? He said, no, I'm not going to do it. So when you have a political interference, you have agenda being set by people who are supposed to take care of the air. What can you do? And here it is doubly tragic for the Chief Justice of India to say, I've raised my hands because Vimlendu is right. 3 years ago, the Supreme Court said even if there is one case of farm fire, arrest the administrators of both Punjab and Haryana. The very next day, there were 6,000 farm fires. No one was arrested. So when you know you can get away with anything you want, of course, this is bound to happen. But the fact of the matter is, it is indeed an inexact science. You have every day changing from 5% to 15% the share of this sector pollution, that parali burning, transport. It is an inexact, mostly non-peer reviewed science. In this, you can only change the things you can see. And what you can see are two things. Number one, farm fires, stop it. And dust pollution, stop it in Delhi. If these two things you can broadly measure out, the vehicular pollution, which of course is a problem, but of course we have now through CNG, through EV, you can bring in a lot of changes.
The point is that those,
has to be lifted.
You see, the point is, viewers, we can bring in. That is where we stop. We can bring in. Of course we can bring in, but we don't. And we have to start asking our governments. You have to make it an election issue the next time you go out and vote in Delhi. You have to ask the governments, ask the political parties to put this issue as the number one on their manifestos. Currently, just go and see all the political parties in Delhi put this issue on their 45th, 42nd, 43rd pages, viewers. It is not a priority because it's not a priority for you. That's the problem. The day it becomes, it will be front page.